Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 2022 new moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting ourselves feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Virgo be affected by the March 2022 new moon? Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The top is our emotional self. And the right-hand side is the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the King of Swords, and we have the Two of Wands. So there's tremendous strength leading us forward. This is also air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And we're looking at our future. We're looking at, even for some of us, a sense of travel further, like into the next phase. Then we have our inner self. We have the Four of Pentacles and we have celebration. We have the Six of Wands. The Four of Pentacles is vampiric energy and the Six of Wands is celebration. So it's learning how to celebrate ourselves even though we have this vampiric energy that's trying to drain us, that's trying to overwhelm us. We're also being told if we find ourselves to be empathic or astoundingly intuitive, we have to remember to ground ourselves to the earth and to our own selves, to not be lost in other people's emotions. That is going to be very important. We then have our emotional self, where we have the Lovers and we have the Page of Wands. The Lovers is Gemini energy. The Page of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We are embracing what we love. We are also finding passion again within our hearts and in what we desire for life and for ourselves as we move forward. The Page of Wands is having us look at what we are passionate about, what we discover, what we want. It's having us look at things like a child with new insight, with new ideas to really open up the door. We can also find that for some of us, a child could be coming into our lives or could be a part of our lives, and that they have us seeing things so differently. Then we have our public arena self, we have the Strength card, and we have the Death card. So the Strength card is Leo energy, the Death card is Scorpio energy, but we have here a sense of moving forward towards rebirth and finding our strength is not in the physical form, but in the strength of our emotions, our stick-to-itiveness, our determination, our focus. And then we're seeing that everything is transforming, as well as we are transforming within our own selves. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. We have the King of Cups. This is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. We need to be mindful of emotional manipulation. We also need to be mindful of somebody who uses their knowledge of us emotionally. Well, that would be emotional manipulation to get what they want. So there is somebody here who has a good way of sizing people up. And this is somebody in authority, somebody who we usually kind of like have to listen to type of thing. And they can be emotionally very vindictive and very, yeah, just not nice to deal with. So just be mindful of that during this time. Then we have our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. This is listening. This is the throat chakra. And the throat chakra is telling us, whenever we think of the throat chakra, especially when I think of the throat chakra, I think of talking, I think of communicating. And such a valuable part of communication is listening. And yet that's not what we do anymore. Everybody talks, everybody wants their voice to be heard. And I mean, it's always been that way within humanity. But what we need to do is find that our superpower can be the power of listening. And that is going to be our superpower during this moon, during this time, this intense ability to really show up and to be present in a situation is going to be quite powerful for us. Now let's look at this moon itself. This is the new moon in Pisces. It says meditate and contemplate. Well, the new moon always begins with a burst of energy, fantastic insight, fantastic intuition, and also emotional balance coming forward. So as we're meditating, as we're contemplating, this energy steps into our lives and it really does propel us in a really profound way. Now, Jupiter here plays a big role. There is a sense of growth and there is a sense of a giver of life coming forward. So the sun is the giver of life and Jupiter represents growth. And because the sun is always opposite, is always conjunct the moon in a new moon, and Jupiter is right there. That power of Jupiter is just amplified during this time. So there's a real sense of growth, determination. We have a rebirth here. There's also a strong energy of passion, rebirth, and love guiding us forward during this moon. And what we need to really make sure of is that we let love lead our heart, not lust, not the idea of the ego coming forward, but love for who we are and what we want and what we desire within our lives to guide us. Because the passion part can change into, because you need passion, right, for argument, for destruction, for war, for hurt, for pain. And so that's going to be something that we need to just really be mindful of during this time, moving towards love, moving towards harmony, moving towards brilliance of self. Neptune is also going to play a role during this time, and it's going to bring our dreams forward, because that's what Neptune does. It really does connect with our spiritual self and with our dreams. And there's also going to be a murkiness around this time, astrologically speaking. Everybody's felt it, everybody sees it, but it's almost like we're moving towards things, but something is unclear. And confusion is brought forward within our lives. So we have to be careful of falling into that trap. Excuse me. So at the root of us is the King of Swords. I see him always as the most masculine of the kings. There is a severe sense of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity, but there is also a really powerful sense of I'm speaking my mind, I'm going after what I want, I'm looking at things in a very powerful, succinct, determined way, and nothing and no one is going to hold me back from my goals. The King of Swords also has sacrificed. He has sacrificed his time where he could be, larking about. He sacrificed that time to learn how to use the sword. So there's something here that we have sacrificed our time for, to be able to learn it, to be able to understand it, to really be able to move ourselves forward. And we're going to see the door opening up. We're going to see ourselves moving to a new stage, kind of understanding things. I do see travel here for one reason or another coming forward. It's kind of like, this is what I've worked for. And this could actually be our work, sending us on a business trip, or, thinking of relocating, or, even thinking of going on a holiday. That sort of energy is coming forward, where it's like, I can step forward because I do have this knowledge, because I do have this power, because I do have this tenacity guiding me. And it leads us to the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is that vampiric energy. It is that energy that drains us. So we have to be mindful of that here. It is the energy from the past. It's the people in the present. It's like everybody wanting a bit of our time. It's kind of like having a cup of water, right? Or having a pitcher. That's a better. And you're filling up everybody's cup. But what you're doing is you're filling up your cup from your own water, your own life energy, self, discovery. And as you're filling it up, it's never being refilled because everybody's always taking and taking. And then you'll just hit a point where it's just overwhelming and you're drained and it's not good. So here we have to be very, very mindful of that. We also have to be mindful, if we are empathic individuals, that we need to ground ourselves. We need to center ourselves. We need to make sure to turn off and tune out from the rest of the world, because it can be too much from everybody's emotions and everybody's feelings and everybody's demands. So being aware of that, which it sounds so easy to do and it's really complex, is going to be important. Now, celebrating us is also going to be a really important thing during this time inwardly. The Six of Wands is saying celebrate. The Six of Wands is saying, look at your achievements and make sure that they matter. Make sure that they count within yourself, within what you want, within who it is that you are. Because at this time here, Virgo, we can find it very easy to kind of get into a negative spiral that says, oh my gosh, I'm just drained and overwhelmed. But once we acknowledge that energy drainer, once we acknowledge where we feel overwhelmed or why we feel overwhelmed in a certain direction, the Six of Wands guides us forward to success and prosperity and abundance and a real sense of being able to celebrate who we are and what we want for our lives and from our lives. It moves us here to Lovers, which is the sixth card in the major arcana. The repeat of the number 6 does show a very nurturing, warm energy around us. The Lovers is Gemini energy, and it is saying here, I am embracing what I love. I am finding the passion in my life again. I'm just going to take a sip of water. Excuse me. I do apologize. And as that passion comes forward, I embrace who I am, what I want, and what I'm looking for in the long run. The Lovers comes forward and is really saying, this is for me. This is what I want, and this is what I desire. And as that passion comes, we do feel our angels are blessing us. We do feel like we're moving towards something more, like that spark has come back into our lives. And that's where we become a student of our passion, a student of what we really desire. There can be a childlike energy. It can be a child, or it can be an energy that's very innocent, that has a very different way of looking at things than we do, that helps to open up that door, helps us to see things differently. But we're also going to get messages, from spirit, from the spirit world, that guides us in a way that we hadn't expected. And it's going to be about what we're passionate about. It's going to be about our fire, our desire, how we want to move forward for ourselves. And it brings us then to a place of strength, to a place of determination, to a place of focus. When the Strength card comes in, there is this real sense of, I'm moving forward in a way that surprises us. We're going to be like, wow, this surprises me. I didn't expect to have this ally, or I didn't expect this door to open. And it's the strength not through I demand type of ego strength, but it's very much the strength of, I've put in the work, I've put in the time, I stand strong within myself and within what I desire from my life. And that is the game changer, which leads us to a rebirth, which leads us to being guided forward by spirit, which leads us to a changing energy within ourselves. It's like, I am reborn, I am passionate, I am powerful, I see what I need, and now things are really starting to change. There is also a sense of a dying away of the old self, a rebirth of the new. There is a real sense of, I'm surprised at where I am on my journey. I'm surprised that I've transformed in this way. So this really does kind of take us off guard. It knocks us off guard, but it leads us in a direction that is going to be astounding for us and powerful for us. Now let's look at our lunar message. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. So at the bottom is our rooted self, and our Lunar message is surrender to the divine, the full moon, which will be in about 2 weeks, right? So there's this sense of needing to surrender as this lunar cycle moves us forward. And then we have trust. trust that where we end up by the full moon is where we need to be, is where we've been guided to be. And also trust in the way that the doors are opening, the way that we are stepping forward. It brings us to our inner self, our lunar inner self, which says you're very close to achieving your goals. Darkness. Now this can be the dark moon, which is known as Lilith. This can be the unclear murkiness of things, but this can also be a sense of, greater change coming forward through an eclipse, through a greater understanding. Like something is shadowed and then something is revealed. And it's like, oh my gosh, that was it. Or, oh my gosh, that's why I was tripped up. Like, that's why I didn't understand the bigger picture. So we're very close to reaching our goals. There is just some sort of shadow that is coming forward during this time. And once that shadow is, the light is shown on it, or we step it into the light by saying, okay, let me see what is here, what is draining, what is overwhelming. It's like a revelation comes forward. It brings us into our emotional self, which says confidence is your key to success. Purity of intention, purity of what we desire, pure as the driven snow, not having any pollutants on it, not having any, anybody touch it. It's kind of like here, as we move forward in our confidence, we move forward in the purity of our confidence. And it's not being ruled by ego, but it's saying, this is what I know I have inside of me. This is the passion. This is the beauty. This is the tenacity that guides me forward in a way that I hadn't expected. And it brings us then to our inner self, our public arena self, but it's very personal. I don't know why. And it says here, luck is on your side. Nourish it. Yeah. And that's why it's so personal. It's like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I'm taking aim to. Luck is on my side. I've wanted this. I've needed this. Let me nourish it. Let it nourish me. And let me celebrate in the fullness and the beauty of its connection. Our subconscious lunar energy is prosperity lies ahead. And we've hungered for it for a very long time. It moves us to our subconscious tarot energy, which is the Hangman. And it's just seeing things so differently. It's having a completely different perspective. And as we embrace that different perspective, it leads us and in a different way. It leads us to a place, again, we never thought we'd stand there. We never thought we'd embrace this. And now it's like everything is changing, everything is empowered, everything is emboldened because of it. And we have such a different viewpoint. It moves us to our subconscious, energy to be mindful of. And it's the Princess of Pentacles. Now we're represented by the Pentacles in the Minor Arcana. So it's warning us not to be immature about things, especially financially, or things that have great value to us. And it's also not listening to people who have this immaturity to them, but they're going to mask their immaturity in like a really good business pitch, or a really good idea, like, oh, if you just invested this much money, you'd see how wonderful it is. There's something here where, like, get the deeper knowledge of it, get the facts of it before you go forward, because this person isn't going to have anything more than like a pitch. And it doesn't mean that it has to be a sales pitch. It can be a dream, whatever it is, that you have nothing to back it up. And that's going to be really frustrating. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and that is Mother Earth. It is needing to connect with the earth. It is Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. It is connecting with the earth. It is connecting with our power. It is knowing that there is a veracity to us, as well as a nurturing to us, that is extraordinary. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time and of this moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo, and may you have a blessed moon.